They stole his first term as president. These absolute liars who run around trying to act like they're the protectors of democracy completely ruined it, tried to undermine it at every turn and at the highest levels with lies, with out and out lies that were really serious, and changed foreign policy and changed the course of history in this country in Trump's presidency. And there must be accountability. There has to be actual criminal accountability for those who lied. And I can't wait to see this administration do it.
Anybody can look at that and say that there wasn't aggressive violations of the law. What they basically did is they would take something that supported a Hillary Clinton campaign talking point and they would overemphasize it and exaggerate it. They took anything that actually contradicted that narrative and they buried it deep. And through that, they actually laundered Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign talking points through.
The media portrayed Hillary Clinton as inevitability. For decades, the first female president was selected won the political powerhouse that will shatter stereotypes and change the course of American history. However, inevitability is really a myth. And in 2016, that myth was dispelled. Megyn Kelly deftly dispels the notion, revealing an entitled politician who mistakenly believed that connections equated to skill rather than a leader. J.D. Vance adds, emphasizing the point Hillary lost to Donald Trump, the candidate the establishment vowed would never win despite having the support of the entire Democratic apparatus, including the media contributors and money. That isn't rejection of fate, it indicates arrogance. We are dispelling the fiction of Hillary Clinton's inevitability tonight, showing how her failure, corruption, and entitlement transformed the Queen-in-Waiting into the most spectacular political fall in modern history.
Been talking about the documents that showed Loretta Lynch allegedly saying she would make sure it didn't go too far. So Hillary Clinton twice protected, according to these documents, for her utter corruption, her criminal corruption.
But if you look at what Tulsi and Kash Patel have revealed in the last couple of weeks, I don't know how anybody can look at that and say that there wasn't aggressive violations of the law. What they basically did is they defrauded the American people in order to take Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign talking points and turn them into intelligence by defrauding the American people, defrauding the intelligence agencies, lying.
There is nowhere to run to when Megyn Kelly targets a politician. Furthermore, Kelly not only criticizes Hillary Clinton, but also dismantles her point by point. Kelly rips back the veneer to expose a sham record masquerading as history in the making, covering everything from Hillary's forgettable Senate career to the foreign policy catastrophes of her tenure at the State Department to the humiliation of 2016. Then J.D. Vance sharpens the edge, making fun of Hillary's innumerable justifications, including sexism, Russia, James Comey, Facebook memes, and everything save her own incapacity. Kelly and Vance work together to produce a takedown that is so severe and accurate that it is clear that Hillary Clinton was not a victim of fate. She was the one who planned her own demise. It's not analysis here, it's demolition. And we're exploring the remains of the Clinton myth tonight.
Okay, well, first of all, saying something, she didn't say he was an illegitimate.
Yes, she did.
You tell me exactly what she said.
She said those exact words repeatedly.
Okay. I mean, she conceded the election. Whether you're interpreting her disappointment at losing it as the same thing as Trump not conceding it, I don't know. That's where you're getting it from. But again, it's a tremendous false equivalency. You could ask Hillary Clinton right now who won that election. She will.
J.D. Vance is not one for courteous criticism. He doesn't mince words. He throws a hammer and it lands when he speaks of Hillary Clinton. Vance describes her as being exactly what millions of voters witnessed in 2016, a politician who was enmeshed in scandal, dependent on Wall Street contributors, and utterly cut off from the public. Megyn Kelly joins the battle, revealing how Hillary's ascent was based on conceit and entitlement rather than inspiration. Together, they present a harsh, unvarnished analysis of Hillary Clinton's career, a woman who believed she was born to be president, but lost the most electable election in contemporary history. This is the tale of the inevitable candidate who was humiliated in addition to losing, and we're going to dissect how that happened in detail tonight.
Try to silence him and shut him up. And then consider, just yesterday, one of the chief surrogates of Kamala Harris's campaign is Hillary Clinton. And you know what Hillary Clinton said yesterday? She said that misinformation should be met with criminal penalties. That we ought to throw people in jail and silence them if they say something that Hillary Clinton disagrees with.
In the eye, it was such a jaw dropper. Watch. Hillary Clinton, of course, is the original election denier. I'm sure you voted for her in 2016.
Well, she's not an election denier.
She absolutely was the OG election denier.
She first of all, she came out before the sun had risen to concede the election to Trump.
And then spent the next 4 years saying he was illegitimate.
Intro 4. Consider a startup that has billions of dollars in capital, all the contacts in Silicon Valley, and every advantage imaginable. And then picture going out of business overnight. That sums up Hillary Clinton's political career. J.D. Vance and Megyn Kelly liken her campaigns to failed businesses, overfunded, overhyped, and ultimately ineffective. Hillary's 2016 campaign had everything Wall Street funding, DNC, favoritism, and media endorsements, but she lost to Donald Trump, the candidate that all analysts predicted would never win. Why? Because it's not a plan to be inevitable. Because being arrogant is not being authentic. Additionally, Americans never wanted Hillary Clinton as a candidate. Tonight, we're dissecting the Clinton brand's dramatic collapse, a political empire that lost its advantages and became little more than a warning.
For a minute, Hillary Clinton is back doing a late night tour. She spoke with Jimmy Fallon and she had some thoughts on this boiling down to Trump versus Biden again.
What do you say to voters who are upset that those are the two choices?
Get over yourself. Those are the two choices.
Yeah, I love that.
Right? And
Hillary Clinton's campaign was more than just a presidential one. She felt entitled to the office every speech, interview, and planned photo op she did during her 2016 campaign exuded that haughtiness. However, Americans dislike having their vote choices dictated to them. They dislike coronations that are passed under false pretenses. Additionally, Hillary's entitlement complex transformed her from a trailblazer into a representation of everything that voters desperately wanted to oppose, while J.D. Vance reminds us of Hillary's infamous basket of deplorables comment, which revealed her disdain for regular Americans. Megyn Kelly brutally cuts into that entitlement. This was political suicide, not simply poor tactics. Tonight, we're revealing how Hillary Clinton's aspirations to become president were dashed by entitlement, and how her conceit made Madam President a failing catchphrase.
Here's the thing. If you're willing, my friends, if you are willing to throw a person in jail because you disagree with what they say, then you're going to be willing to put a bullet in their head too. So the Democrats, I call on every leader in this country, not just tone down the rhetoric, but tone down the censorship. Let's have a debate with one another. That's what Americans do. Stop trying to silence people.
Once upon a time, the Clinton name seemed invincible, a political dynasty that appeared to be here to stay. However, by 2016, that brand had come to symbolize corruption, scandal, weariness, and a ton of political baggage rather than strength. Once positioned as the unstoppable next in line, Hillary Clinton turned become the face of failure, as revealed by Megyn Kelly and J.D. Vance. Hillary's career reads like a roadmap for self-destruction from Benghazi to the private email server from overseas, funding to the devastating defeat by Donald Trump. The fact that she was cheated did not lead her to lose. Being Hillary Clinton overhyped, failing, and out of touch was the reason she lost. We're breaking down the catastrophic way that fate turned into defeat tonight.
For the record, and our audience knows this and you guys, but just for the record, let's play SOP 10.
I do think that he knows that he's an illegitimate president. I believe he knows he's an illegitimate president. He knows that there were a bunch of different reasons why the election turned out the way it did. And as I've been telling candidates who have come to see me, you can run the best campaign, you can even become the nominee, and you can have the election stolen from you. Joe and Kamala can win by 3 million votes and still lose. Take it.
If Hillary Clinton is renowned for anything, it is her ability to make excuses rather than her leadership. She has attributed her loss to sexism, Facebook memes, Russia James Comey, and even her own supporters all except herself. Megyn Kelly, however, doesn't believe it. She exposes Hillary's blame game with razor-sharp accuracy and presents the facts. Conspiracies did not cause Clinton to lose. She was a bad candidate, which is why she lost. J.D. Vance emphasizes the argument by drawing a comparison between her with a CEO who in a memoir blames the competition, the market, and the customers, but never acknowledges that the product was subpar, brutal, incisive, and unavoidable. Tonight, we're unveiling the excuse factory that underlies Hillary Clinton's legacy.
Like, one is old and effective and compassionate, has a heart, and really cares about people. And one is old and has been charged with 91 felonies.
Yeah, okay.
I mean,
Okay, interesting.
I don't understand why this is even a hard choice.
Get over yourself. You don't matter. Do what's right for the global citizenry, which is clearly to elect the compassionate one with the heart. The guy who skipped Officer Diller's funeral, that fallen cop, got shot by somebody who'd been under arrest for 20.
Hillary Clinton's political persona was marketed and packaged for years like a high-end brand. The speeches, the media attention, and the constant discussion about making history are all intended to give the impression that something inevitable is going to happen. However, voters found nothing inside the box when they eventually had a chance to open it. J.D. Vance and Megyn Kelly tear the box off, revealing the phony Clinton brand product. No motivation, no genuineness, no outcomes, just a well-planned delusion supported by entitlement, the media, and money. Tonight, we will finally dismantle the Clinton myth and demonstrate why people turned away the luxury brand candidate who offered nothing genuine.
That was at the Vital Voices Global Partnership Awards, whatever that is. Then, look at this.
Oh.
She put out this mug. We'll put it on the screen. You can
I
see it here on
haven't.
my notes.
Yeah.
Have you seen this?
I haven't seen it. I see a little
It's a
one on
mug
your
that's
notes.
got like an outline of her, and she's sipping a coffee, and it reads, "Turns out she was right about everything."
My God.
She tweeted it out, writing, or on Insta, "We recently had some new merch made based on a phrase I hear a lot."
Hillary Clinton enjoys calling people election deniers, but the harsh reality, she is the original election skeptic. As she plays the tape, Megyn Kelly reminds the audience of Hillary Clinton's years of accusing Donald Trump of being an illegitimate president, and that the 2016 election was rigged. The irony of a lady who assisted in smuggling campaign talking themes into intelligence briefings, then turning around and preaching about protecting democracy, is further highlighted by J.D. Vance. The receipts are on the table tonight. The initial election skeptic has been apprehended, and the disguise is being removed.
Very different ball game today than it was even 4 years ago, never mind 8 or 10 years ago when she was doing all this. And back to Hillary, the whole, she has a hat she's tweeted herself out wearing, but her emails. She's tried to turn it into this ridiculous joke, like, oh, but the moon landing, like you nutcases who are still railing about this made-up scandal, this thing that, you've used to try to unfairly tar me. She did need to distract from that email scandal, which was around her neck like an albatross. Trust me, we were covering it every night on the...
Words count in politics. Furthermore, Hillary Clinton's iconic remark about the basket of deplorables backfired more than any other statement in contemporary history. She showed her genuine disdain for the same people she professed to represent by insulting millions of Americans. In that one instance, Hillary's entire campaign was encapsulated by one haughty line, which Megyn Kelly and J.D. Vance revisit as the single greatest act of political self-sabotage of the 21st century. Hope wasn't the issue. It had nothing to do with connectivity. It was about entitlement, power, and contempt. Tonight, we'll examine how one phrase dashed Hillary Clinton's hopes of becoming president and why her reputation is now plagued by the echoes of deplorables.
Hillary Clinton.
Speaking of evil.
Yeah, exactly. Who amazingly, has been out there celebrating the Trump conviction. Now, we played this the other day, but I'll show it to the audience if you missed it. SOT 3. Here she was after he was convicted at a speech.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Anything going on today?
Hillary Clinton desired to be known as a trailblazer, rather failure. Is her legacy failure in the Senate, where she made no noteworthy contributions, failure in the role of Secretary of State, where international policy fell apart, and failure in 2016, when she lost to a political outsider despite having every possible advantage, while J.D. Vance twists the knife and reminds us that Hillary wasn't robbed, she botched it. Megyn Kelly reveals this record with brutal clarity. She left no legacy of breaking down barriers. It's about failing when success ought to have been certain. We are rewriting Hillary Clinton's legacy tonight, defining failure rather than destiny.
Clearly violated the law. That homebrew server that had been accessed by foreign agents. She compromised national intelligence information. She did things she would never have allowed anybody at the State Department to do under her. And that leaves me back to Schellenberger here. This is page 4 of his report. He writes as follows: the Russian reports, again, that the Dutch spied on, that we got our hands on, also claimed, and listen to this, I mean, you probably already know this stuff, Glenn, but claimed that Attorney General Loretta Lynch, okay, this is back in 16, people, remember, Obama's president, Loretta Lynch is his Attorney General, and her DOJ/FBI are investigating the Hillary Clinton email scandal. And also now we learn simultaneously working with the Hillary Clinton campaign to
The year 2016 should have marked the end of Hillary Clinton's political career. She simply keeps returning, though, like a zombie from a bad sequel late-night performances podcasts drops of merchandise. She is desperate to change history and prove that she was right all along. Megyn Kelly, however, is not duped. She reveals Hillary's fixation on relevancy as a sign of desperation. J.D. Vance continues by pointing out that each time Hillary makes an appearance, she brings to mind the one event the Democrats would prefer to forget: the humiliating fall of the inevitable candidate in 2016. We're going to demonstrate tonight why Hillary Clinton's political comeback act is pitiful rather than inspirational. Intro 13. The story of Hillary Clinton has consistently been presented as one of destiny being thwarted. J.D. Vance and Megyn Kelly, however, give it straight. Destiny was avoided because America didn't need Hillary as its leader. She was not the celebrity she claimed to be as a professional politician. Her campaigns were based on conceit rather than sincerity. Hillary's record speaks for itself, from her dismal tenure in the Senate to her terrible tenure as Secretary of State to her crushing defeat in 2016. History was not taken away from her, it exposed her. We're exposing Hillary Clinton's cautionary tale tonight, which serves as the best reminder that no amount of wealth, influence, or media glitz can ever completely hide failure.